Today I thought I'd talk about one of my absolute favorite activities in the world, and that is going to the Korean spa. I was recently having coffee with a friend who had just had her first spa experience and was talking about the feeling of like unfamiliarity in that environment. So I thought I would give a quick rundown of what it's like and why you should go. It's not a fussy spa experience and it's not expensive. Those are two things that, especially as a grad student and right after when I was just starting to work, I was really concerned with. At the most basic level, what you'll need to pay is just the entrance fee to that spa. The price can vary, but typically it's between $15 and let's say $40 on the higher end for the entrance fee. And what the entrance fee gives you is access to the wet saunas, the hot dry saunas, and the common area, which is really all you kind of need for a day of relaxation. I'm not Korean or Korean American, so I'm not going to use the Korean terms for things because I think I would just mangle the pronunciation. But a lot of this terminology and the concept of this bathing culture does translate across East Asian cultures. So I've definitely gone to similar bathhouses in China, and of course, in Japan you have the onsen, which is a similar concept. But any of these environments are just honestly so good to check in with yourself and your body, see how you're feeling, see how you're doing. The importance of that cannot be overstated. When I'm in a very stressful work or learning environment, I tend not to notice that I carry a lot of stress in my shoulders. That stress can manifest in my body in other ways. So even taking like half an afternoon just to yourself, just to relax physically, is super important. So yeah, once you pay the entrance fee, you normally get a wristband with a locker number, and the wristband has like a little tracker that you scan to pay for things in the spa itself or to open your locker. So once you get that, you'll also get a pair of pajamas that you wear, within the spa itself, which I think is really nice because you just don't have to worry about carrying anything with you. And you'll also get assigned a locker where you can put your stuff. Normally you take your shoes off first and put them in a special shoe locker. Then you find your normal locker and just strip everything off and put it in the locker. You will have to be naked in the wet area of the spa, which I know some people get nervous about, but honestly it's very freeing and not something to worry about at all. You might feel weird for like the first 30 seconds, but once you realize that everyone is there for the same purpose, which is just to relax and take care of themselves and have some time, it really isn't that weird at all. And I think actually having a bath culture where you routinely see women of different ages, different sizes, different shapes, like that creates a pretty healthy understanding of your body and like its place in the world that, I don't know, I feel like some Western cultural environments can lack. There's no shame involved actually in that part of the bath experience. So yeah, you get naked, you head over to the showers. Everyone showers before you get in the tubs. That's an absolute necessity. And then you just sort of are free form in terms of what you want to do. There's normally at least one warm tub, a hot tub, and a cold tub. When my sister and I went to a Korean spa, in Korea, what we saw was a lot of the ladies would go from warm to hot for as long as they could stand it, and then jump into the cold pool, which at that spa was really big and had a place where you could basically swim back and forth. And when they were in the cold pool, they would vigorously sort of exercise to get their blood flowing. Then they would jump back into the warm pool. So you could try that. I mean, the cold pool is normally a little bit too intense for me personally. So I like to alternate between the warm and the hot. And then there's also normally a wet sauna and a dry sauna that you go into while you're naked. Hot tip, bring a towel with you so that you're not putting your bare butt on a scorching hot piece of wood. That's no fun. In the wet part of the spa, that's actually my favorite part because everyone's just doing their own thing and it's super relaxing. You'll also probably find that they have like a sit-down shower area, and you'll see a lot of ladies like scrubbing themselves with those I don't know what they're made of, but they're like scrub mitts. So in almost all places, and certainly in every spa that I've been to, you can bring your own toiletries and stuff. So you can bring your own face masks, your own body wash and shampoo and conditioner if you want, although they'll provide that to you as well. And of course your own scrub mitts and all that. So you see a lot of ladies taking their sweet time at a sit-down shower, you know, just sort of like slowly scrubbing themselves for like an hour at a time, which is honestly very relaxing. I love doing that. Once you're done with the wet part of the spa, you'll probably move to the, I guess I'll say Jimjilbang. That's, I don't know, I probably butchered that, sorry. But it's basically the communal dry area, so you should put on your pajamas before you go out there, obviously, and grab, you know, your face mask that you brought with you, or a book or your phone. Although I don't really like to bring my phone. I mean, I kind of, you know, went there to just shut everything else out, but a book is always good. Most Korean spas will have a couple of different types of, you know, dry saunas, you know, of different temperatures, and they'll also have different ingredients, so like healing properties. Some of the popular ones I've been to are like having pink Himalayan salt in the room, like huge blocks of it everywhere, having red clay. So a common one that you'll see is like the floor is covered in little clay balls, and as you walk on it, it kind of like rolls and feels good. And you just lie down on the clay and it feels really warm and soothing. There's also normally like an ice room, so kind of the same concept as the pools in the wet part, where you go from hot to cold and it helps your pores like open and close or something. You know, the scientific efficacy of a lot of these spas and stuff is not 100% there, but I'm sure that the placebo effect is actually very strong and very effective in itself. So, and almost all places will have like a mat and some pillows that you can just take wherever is like open and communal, and you can lie down and set up your own little sleeping area, read your book, do a mask, just chill. Most of the spas I've been to have also had heated floors, which is kind of nice. So, you know, you're just wearing your thin pajamas, you don't have to worry about like getting a blanket or anything. Everything is temperature regulated. And most spas have a cafe of some sort. And surprisingly, the food is, I found in my experience, to be very good and pretty reasonably priced. But you can get, you know, like some soup or a smoothie or something, and just sit in your, like sprawl out in your pajamas and have like a really good meal in a relaxing setting. I love that. Let's see, what else? You should bring a bottle of water with you. They'll have like water dispensers, but it's really important to stay hydrated because you'll sweat more than you think. Just, you know, being in the pools itself will, you know, generate a lot of sweat. What else? At most places you can also book different services like a massage or getting your nails done. I normally don't do that because, you know, still about to go to school, just finished school, the whole budget thing, but it's a nice way to like sort of take care of everything in one go if that's what you're into. Oh, the one service that you should try absolutely at a Korean spa if you've never had it before is the body buff or scrub. So those scrub mitts that I talked about, they have a service where you basically lie on a table, and an older woman wearing a bra and underwear, I don't know why they're always wearing that, but that's what they'll wear, will basically rub all the dead skin off of your body. Some people think it hurts. I personally have a pretty high tolerance for pain, and I don't think it hurts at all. It kind of feels like being licked by a cat. If you've ever experienced that, it's rough, but it's not supposed to be painful. And it removes like rolls of dead skin. I read that you can have about 1 pound or even up to 2 pounds of dead skin removed by this procedure. It feels so good and your skin is so soft later. It's not going to be a very relaxing experience in my opinion and in my experience, because you're normally on this like shiny wet table along with like at least 10 other people who are getting the same service done. And you're naked, and this woman is like pouring buckets of water on you and then scrubbing your flesh. So it feels a little bit procedural and less relaxing, but the procedure itself is really interesting. I love it, and it's definitely worth trying at least once. My favorite spa of all time is Jeju Spa in Duluth, Georgia. It's a suburb of Atlanta that I feel like not many people know about, but there are tons of Asians in the suburbs of Atlanta, and Duluth happens to be mostly Korean. Their food is as good as the food in Seoul or in LA K-Town, I would say, if you know where to find it. And Jeju Spa is huge and beautiful and my favorite place in the world, basically. I think it's because, you know, to have a good spa, you need to have the clientele, obviously, but you also need to have enough space. And in Atlanta, the land is cheap, so it can be really big. They have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Oh, no, not Olympic-sized. They have like a big swimming pool there. And their food is really good, and it's just so nice, and I miss it all the time. So yeah, that's basically it for my breakdown of your Korean spa experience. It's definitely something that's worth checking out if you have a spare afternoon, or better yet, the whole day. It's just bliss. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you have been to a good spa lately, let me know what it is. See you guys next time.